So do you guys remember back whenever iPods were still a thing and everybody wanted theirs to be jailbroke? Well, today I'm going to show you how to jailbreak your Jeep. So a lot of you may be confused. You know this is the Rubicon 392, but with what I'm about to show you, you can really enjoy your Jeep. Welcome back to Godspeed ZRZ, and today I'm going to show you exactly how you can do it to your own Jeep. So just to go over some of the basics first, what we have installed on this Rubicon 392 is the Tazer Mini. And with the Tazer Mini, it's more of a module programmer. You can just simply plug in under your dash and it gives you access to a lot of the features that are basically hidden away, locked away from the factory. And as you've already seen, there are some awesome features that are very evident, and then there are some awesome features that are pretty much hidden. And I'm still learning this programmer, so I don't have it 100% figured out, but I do know enough to show you guys some of the coolest features you can unlock with the Tazer Mini on any Jeep JL. So since I've already spilled the beans on being able to turn this thing into two-wheel drive, I wanted to show you how we do it. So first of all, I do have the module plugged in under here, and there's a bunch of great videos going over the install. It's a really simple and easy procedure, but once you do have it plugged in and married, you just use the controls here on your steering wheel and then these controls as well. What you'll need to do is you'll hold down this button, and you will have to be on the audio screen. So first of all, get to the audio screen, and then you'll just hold down the far left button and hold down your cancel. It'll allow you to scroll through. Now once you do start scrolling through, you'll notice there's some pretty cool features here. You've got tire feel, you've got a dark mode that shuts off all the lights, you've got video so you can throw up whatever camera on your screen, you've got your vacuum gauges to show you your vacuum. We've also got a 0 to 30 timer, a 0 to 60 timer, and we've got force rear wheel drive, which is what we're in right now, and that's what you need to be in to force rear wheel drive on your select track transfer case. So for the Rubicon 392s, we all know we have 4-wheel high auto instead of 2-wheel drive. So this essentially just turns off the motor that engages the clutch for our select track transfer case and allows us to stay in 2-wheel drive. Now with that, it gives us some abilities that we didn't have before, and I'll go over that here shortly. This is the update that I'm on right now. I just pulled it out of the box, plugged it in. I've only had it in for one day. I wanted to test it out first to make sure my transfer case wasn't going to explode before I told you guys to get this, but it's worked well so far, and this is the version I am on. I probably do need to update it, so let me know in the comments. And then you've got no screen here. Now, we do have the light show, which I've already showed you some clips of, and the live settings. Now there are a bunch of different things that I'm not going to go over in this video, but there are features that you can control and change, adjust whenever you're just in the run position with the vehicle actually off, and then there are the live features that you can actually scroll through whenever you actually have the vehicle turned on. So there are many different features, but today I just want to go over the main features that I've really fallen in love with. Now one of the absolute coolest features I've noticed so far has definitely got to be the forced rear wheel drive whenever you actually engage off-road plus. So you'll see right here our off-road plus mode has basically just been our aggressive off-road mode, but now what it basically entails is it's the super track pack on all the other scat packs. It enhances your throttle response, your transmission shift points, and it eliminates your traction control. It's basically the exact same mode you'd be used to that's called Super Track Pack in all the other 392 models from Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram. Now with that being said, the Tazer also allows you to have your camera running at any speed, which is pretty awesome. It's cool to have that screen up, it's a great display, and it's nice to just see where you're at on the trail, and I believe this goes up to any speed. I've had it up on the interstate, on the highway, and it hasn't turned off on its own. Now with the off-road plus mode engaged, I swear guys, this is the sport mode that we've all been asking for. Now, there is no specific sport mode with the Rubicon 392, and I personally believe that just in 4-wheel high auto, whenever you did engage off-road plus, it made the 4-wheel drive engage much more aggressively, and it just didn't feel good to do that on, you know, dry pavement. It just felt like it was gonna mess something up. Now you can see we don't have 4-wheel drive engaged. It even shows you here on your display, it would usually be white right here for 4-wheel high auto, but whenever you have your forced rear wheel drive on, it is completely gone. And I'm sure you guys can already hear It's just a much more aggressive, responsive machine in Off-Road Plus, and being able to do it in two-wheel drive is something I've been wanting to do since I first got this Jeep. And I might as well go ahead and show you guys now the light features. They are pretty cool. It's a lot like the Tesla, and I think you guys will like it. It's a cool party trick or something just whenever you have the Jeep at maybe a meet or something like that, but it is so cool. Let me show it to you. I think you'll really enjoy it. A lot of you guys will have questions about the on-road drivability once you do put it in two-wheel drive, the forced two-wheel drive mode, and as far as I can tell from my personal experience, it's been absolutely amazing. The steering is quite a bit lighter, and it does give you more of that rear-wheel drive feel like we were all used to in the normal Rubicons, and it's a much more enjoyable experience. Now for fuel economy, I haven't really noticed anything different yet, and I don't really think that we will. What I really did notice was just the difference in fuel economy with the speedometer calibrated, and with that has given me a little bit better fuel economy, but not really enough to write home about. And you guys be sure to drop a comment down below if you want to see a 0 to 30 and a 0 to 60 run now that we have that ability. I think it'd be pretty cool to see what kind of time we could get on these big tires. Now, going beyond some of the more basic features that this thing gives you the ability to access, we've also got things like the line lock control, which locks up the front brakes. That way you can do some nasty burnouts and get ready for a launch. We've also got trail turn assist, just like on the new Broncos, where it'll lock up one side of the brakes and just send power to one side on the rear. That way it can give you the absolute tightest turning radius you can possibly do in a sticky situation. And I think that'll definitely help down the road. Another thing you've got is a winch mode. So if you guys are familiar with using a winch, it draws a lot of power, and that power comes from your alternator. And whenever your alternator needs more power, the RPMs need to be a little bit higher. So instead of having your foot on the gas to keep that RPM level just a little bit higher, you can engage the winch mode and set whatever RPM level you desire it to be at, and it'll pull absolutely perfectly, make it all seamless. That way you don't have to do any extra work. Now, another big thing this programmer and module will help with is definitely going to be to clear the DCTs. It's something that a lot of us run into as soon as we start fixing up the vehicles like this. A lot of the more basic accessories that you do add on are going to pop up DCTs and trouble codes. Just for instance, these lights that I recently installed in a previous video, the Oracle flush mount tail lights, with them being blind spot monitor capable and LED, even though my Jeep was already LED, it did pop up a code telling me that the tail lights were out even though they were working. Now with that, inside the module, you're able to scroll through, turn off like you don't have LED taillights, and then turn it back on, and it re-registers everything perfectly. You're able to do factory reboots and everything, and you're even able to unmarry this device. That way, if you need to take it to the dealership, they won't be any wiser. Now, I still have had some issues with the blind spot monitors on this taillight setup. They're just not reading. Now, whenever I was taking these apart, I noticed this extra little piece here, and I thought maybe I would need to take it out for it to read through, but in the factory style taillights, the blind spot monitors did read through plastic, so I figured I'd leave those in, and if we were to take them out, it would just be a blank white spot, because the blind spot monitors from the factory, the housing is actually just white. I don't think that would look good, so I've actually just turned off my blind spot monitors for now until I decide to dive in a little deeper, because in all honesty, if I had to have that white look right here, I'd rather just not have it. Now, another cool thing this module has already helped me fix is the fog light drop, the daytime running light drop feature whenever you're using your high beams or just using your headlights at night. So as many of you know, if you do have the auto high beams, they're automatically going to disengage the high beam whenever another car comes up. You are able to turn that off with this, so that helps you, especially in any kind of situation you need to have a little bit more light. It also allows you to keep the fog lights engaged whenever you do engage your high beams. So it's just called fog light drop, and you're able to disable that, and it gives you the max amount of lighting you possibly have, even on the street. Now, I'm sure in some different states there are some different regulations, so Jeep has that set up for a reason. But if you're willing to risk it, you definitely got the ability to have all the light you want, even with the high beams engaged. As you guys can see, we've definitely got some aftermarket wheels and tires, even though we're still on the factory suspension. So with that, I was able to recalibrate the actual tire size that's on the Jeep right now, and that was able to calibrate my speedometer. You're also able to go through and change your gearing. If you do re-gear like we plan to in the future, we'll be able to change the gearing. That way everything is calibrated 100% correctly. You're even able to change the gearing in your transfer case. So if you do change the gearing in your transfer case down the road, you will be able to recalibrate that. That way everything will be working together smoothly. Now, for one thing I know a lot of you are going to ask about, that's just the price. The price for this actual module is somewhere around $350. I think I picked mine up for $330 from Infinite Off-Road in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, and that was a great price for what it is. For the install, you don't need to account for getting an install from anybody else. It's super simple, super easy, and there's a bunch of videos to help you out to show you exactly how to do it. All you have to do is just unplug a couple of cords, plug it in, throw it back in the dash, and you're all good to go. So for the price of what this thing actually is, it's a great value. It gives you access to a lot of features and essentially just jailbreaks your Jeep Wrangler. So for me, I can definitely justify the cost on this, and I wouldn't mind to do it again. I actually wish I would have done it sooner on some of my other Jeeps in the past. Now, I know there's a lot of features I didn't necessarily touch on for this video, but I do plan to add quite a few things here in the near future. We've got some big things in the works, so you guys go ahead and subscribe, that way you don't miss what's coming next. If you haven't already, leave a comment down below. Let me know what your thoughts are and what kind of questions you'd have about this. Don't forget about the merch as well. I've got the link down in the description. We've also got a long sleeve posted there, that way you guys can get something for the upcoming winter, keep you a little bit warmer. But that's going to wrap it up for today, and until next time, Godspeed.